You're watching 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Tennessee's #1 high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from coaches and players, along with highlights, predictions, and up-to-date information about this week's biggest games. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with a 5-star preps team, will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite prep football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
And hi there, everybody, and welcome to Fulton High School for another edition of 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. They have 6 area locations to serve you, and they have been serving East Tennessee athletes since all the way back in 1995. I'm Mark Nagy, filling in for Jesse Smithy tonight, joined by Kevin Smith, the pride of Knoxville Catholic High School. Kevin, it's great to be here, and it's already week 5 of the high school football season. It just goes by way too fast.
It really does, and it's always a pleasure being with you, Mark, and doing games with you. I always enjoy doing that. And I'm back from 1 week hiatus of a 10U head coaching softball responsibility, so I'm glad to be back out here for football tonight. And we got a good one and a huge region game, Mark.
It certainly is. Gibbs versus Fulton tonight here at Bob Black Field in North Knoxville on the Fulton High School campus. A really big game for both of these teams. Gibbs at 3-1, and maybe more importantly 1-0 in Region 2 Class 4A. Fulton at 1-3 and 0-1 in region play. All these region games matter. If you're Fulton, it may mean a little bit more for them tonight.
Yeah, you got to get off the snide. You can't have a goose egg there in region play. I'm really impressed with this Gibbs team, Mark. This is a team that has to go on the road for every game this year. The mindset of this program and this team to battle each and every week, and the fans, they've really talked about as a staff and as a community, how this community has rallied around them and shown up at these away games to make it feel like a home atmosphere for them. It's really impressive what they've been able to do.
Yeah, as far as Fulton is concerned, of course, this is the first year for Jeff McMillan, their former assistant. He is now their head coach, taking Rob Black's place. Rob did such a terrific job as their head coach. For Jeff, I mean, it's one of those things that you're trying to still get these kids used to your system, used to the way that you coach. But now that we're in week 5, you feel like everybody's got a pretty decent handle on it.
Yeah, absolutely. And he knew the program, and that's huge. And this is a championship program. We talk about that a lot on 5 Star Live of Fulton, how they are a championship program. They understand how to win. And they've got some really good players that they can try out on the field that are really exciting to watch.
Now, you talked a little bit about Gibbs and just the way that they've played this year. They've really been impressive. Last year when these teams played, it was a different story. Fulton, very impressive. They had a 54-26 win. Marcellus Jackson and Devon Chenault, who are still back with this offense, they had big games against the Eagles last year. If Fulton's going to win tonight, those two are going to probably have to have big games again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they make the whole thing work, and they're explosive. They're fun to watch. They are must-see TV if you can get out and watch these guys play. But I think for Fulton tonight, they got to do a really good job and I know we say this a lot, but they cannot turn the ball over. Special teams will be a huge factor for them. Can they change field position? And turnovers and penalties can always be a key for Fulton. They got to stay away from the penalties because they can't get behind the chains, Mark. Then they're having to run too much. They can't get the ball downfield. They can't get their athletes the ball in space.
You know, Gibbs throws the ball a little bit more than they maybe had in the past. But in a game like this, every possession you have to value because you know that Gibbs is going to try to still work the clock. It's not necessarily a big chunk team. This is a team that would love to bleed the clock. They still do, even though they do throw the ball a little bit more. But maybe that makes it even more important for Fulton to keep their hands on the football as much as they can.
Yeah, absolutely. Gibbs is going to try to bleed the clock, and they do a great job in their running game. They got some really good backs. Excited to watch them live tonight for the first time and see this running game. But you're right. Gibbs has to do a good job of controlling the ball, not letting Fulton's athletes out on the field in an explosive offense. And then Gibbs has got to do a good job defensively of not letting anybody get behind them. Don't give up the 80-yard plays. Don't give up the 25, 30-yard chunk plays. Stay tight, keep everything in front of you, and make Fulton drive the length of the football field and hope they make mistakes.
As far as Gibbs is concerned, they've been a little bit banged up lately. If they're a healthy team, they're a really difficult team to play. But if they're not at full strength, it could be a bit of an issue for them because we all know that Fulton still only has a lot of athletes on the field.
Well, yeah, and Gibbs is going to be physical, so Fulton's got to do a good job tonight, especially defensive line-wise and linebackers. They got to come in and be physical against this running game. They got to get guys on the ground. Don't let them get big plays. And Gibbs has got to do a good job of staying ahead of the chains as well. Can't get behind. They can't get in 2nd and 12, 3rd and 12 against this Fulton defense. Yeah. They got to stay in 2nd and 5, 3rd and 3 situations.
All right, well, let's take a quicker look at Davion Chenault, Fulton's terrific athlete. He's already got 378 receiving yards on the season to go with 3 receiving touchdowns. Jesse Smithy caught up with him previously.
Davion, I watched you play at 7-on-7 at Webb a couple weeks ago, and it seemed like you really like to have a lot of fun, like to talk a lot out there on the field. And is that the way you do on Friday nights as well?
On Friday nights, it's more of congratulating the other players too, because it's like a lot of people do great things. So I like to.
Last year, you guys, I wouldn't say surprised people, but in a way you did. Just wondering like what you guys can do to feed off last year and do even better this fall.
Just coming together, and right now that's what we're doing. We're working on coming together and working as a team.
Still going to be doing running back duties?
I'm going to be doing a lot of duties this year.
What all do you have on your plate right now?
Really focusing on getting the run game better, playing a little more slot, and helping my team.
Looking at Marmar at quarterback, Marcellus Jackson, just how have you seen him grow since last year when he kind of took over halfway through? How have you seen him grow as a quarterback?
Marmar is a quarterback that I can't even, like, an unspeakable quarterback. Like, he do something a quarterback that, like, very short people can do, and he's the one that got the talent that can do that.
How long have you played with him, known him?
Marmar, like, I've been with Marmar since Little League, and the crazy thing is, in Little League, Marmar didn't like me, like, because we was on different teams, so it was like we was a rival. So when we got in high school, we like clicked like brothers, and I like, that's my real life brother.
So when you look back to him in his youth, I mean, was he still making plays and stuff back then too?
I'm talking about Marcellus was jumping over people in youth league, like, you can't do more explaining to that.
So when y'all saw each other in the community, back then y'all were rivals, you wouldn't talk to each other?
Yes, sir, it was that.
So what made y'all, I know you said once you got to high school, and I guess you're on the same team, but what helped y'all get over that kind of hump and bond?
It was really like a competition. Like, it was really, it really wasn't like really hatred, it was like competition. So like when we got to high school, the bond wasn't easy to like make up for it.
You individually, I know you had a great year on the ground last year and also defensively as well. Which one do you like playing more, and how have you gone about even getting better at both?
I honestly like playing both sides of the field. I like staying on the field all the time, and making plays on both sides.
Should be a whale of a game tonight between Fulton and Gibbs. Really looking forward to watching that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more. You're watching 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
Leonardo da Vinci famously said, "Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been, and there you will always long to return." Well, the Smoky Mountain Air Show has returned, and it's time the Blue Angels take flight once again. The Smoky Mountain Air Show, Saturday, September 10th and Sunday, September 11th. Admission is free, and parking passes can be purchased at SmokyMountainAirShow.com.
If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll. doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso. Add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up. Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up.
And welcome back to 5 Star Live. I am Mark Nagy, subbing tonight for Jesse Smithy. Of course, our preview segments are brought to you by East Tennessee Spine and Sport with 6 area locations. And we're joined by Graham Keys of East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Graham, great to have you with us. Thanks for being here.
Mark, thanks for having us on 5 Star Live this evening. Looking forward to a great game of football.
Well, this is one of those things that I know that you guys are really excited to be part of high school sports. Why is that something that East Tennessee Spine and Sport wants to be a part of?
One of the things is we're a small business, local-owned business, and we're in our communities, or in these communities. Like our closest clinic's only a couple of miles up the road here. So we want to give back into that community that we're serving. The other thing is a lot of our physical therapists, they're all former athletes. They're all wanting to be involved with this group of kids as well. So it gives us an opportunity to give back into that. But really the other thing is it gives us an opportunity to get those kids back in the game. There's nothing worse, like here we are supporting this program. Yeah. The last thing we want as physical therapists is to see a kid going down. But when they do, our mission then begins. We want to get them back to that goal. We want to get them back in the game. We just feel like we can give them more than what traditional therapy does.
Can that be a challenge, though? Because so often kids are like, I'm okay, I want to get back out there. And you have to, though, promote a little bit of patience, because the last thing you want to do is rush somebody out there and then they're going to be on the shelf for even longer.
And that's where the entire team really sort of fits in. That's where a coaching staff, an athletic training staff, the physicians that are here along with the teams, and then the physical therapists helping with the rehab. That's where they all have to be on the same team to help educate those kids. Unfortunately, sometimes there's an unrealistic sort of mindset.
Yeah.
Some of the things that hurt us more than any is these professional athletes, where they have 8 hours of rehab a day, every day of the week. And yes, they can get back that bit quicker. Unfortunately, these kids have to go to school and they have to do all the other things. So that the time frames can be different. So a lot of it's setting that expectation, but look, that starts at the coaching level, the athletic trainers, the physicians, the team physicians, and us in our clinics.
Can it also be a challenge because for a lot of these kids, maybe the first time that they see you, that's the first time they've ever had an injury that even would require having trainers. So they're not used to it, and you guys kind of have to, in a way, coach them along to give them what they should be expecting and the proper way to react to the therapy.
Yeah, it says physical therapy on my license, but a lot of it with these kids is more than just physical. It's mind, body, and soul, we say, right?
Yeah.
So it is helping them come to terms with, look, they're going to miss a couple of weeks and then we're going to get you back. In particular, some of those bigger injuries where it's maybe a season ending, but they've got time perhaps, so we've still got to get them back for the next year and those sorts of options.
We're here at a high school football game tonight, but I know that you guys end up dealing with kids from every sport that you can think of. Are there times, though, depending on the injury and depending on the sport, that would require a different different rehab schedule and different things that they can do to get themselves back on the field of play?
I think that's a great question. I think certainly at times an injury is an injury, and it has a time frame. But some of the demands of certain sports, and in particular the contact sports, some of the nature involved in that actually makes that a little bit perhaps longer.
Sure. Okay, so you guys have been around since 1995. What is it about this area in East Tennessee that has made you guys want to set up camp here and this is where we want to live and work and worship and everything like that?
Well, for me personally, I was fortunate enough to move to Knoxville in 2000. I love that we've got to fight the band
Absolutely.
right here. It's not distracting at all. That's what I love about it.
There you go.
This is testing true broadcasting abilities right now, right? So I moved to Knoxville in 2000, and I thought I might be here for a year.
Yeah.
Maybe a year and a half. 22 and a half years later, still in the same community in Farragut, absolutely loved it. And I think every one of our clinic owners and directors will say the same thing. Whenever they got here, or if they were born here, they realized this is home. East Tennessee has become home for many of us, or was born to us as home. So it was easy for us to begin growth, and then our growth became very organic, if you will. It wasn't this fancy strategic, we're going to plan where we're going to go. It was, we had some great therapists that we were working with, and we had a great opportunity to continue to help people return to whatever lifestyle that they wanted, returning to their work, returning to weekend warriors, or returning to the pitch.
Sure.
And it just kept us motivated with and especially in the last 5 or 6 years, significant growth in our organization.
All right, Graham, you guys have 6 area locations. How can people get in touch with you guys, and what's the easiest ways?
One of the beauties in in Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, is that you no longer require a physician's referral.
Okay.
We certainly work with all the physicians locally, and we'll work with your doctor. But it means that you can actually come direct and see a physical therapist for whatever ails you, whether it's a back pain, neck pain, sports injury, or just that you're stiff and weak and not getting around. So we can certainly see you straight away. The easiest way to get a hold of us is call any one of our 6 locations, or our website. It's East TN Spine Sport, or just Google East Tennessee Spine and Sport Physical Therapy.
Great, Graham. We appreciate your time.
Mark, thank you very much. Look forward to a great game.
Absolutely. Graham Keys from East Tennessee Spine and Sport. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little more high school football in East Tennessee. That's when 5 Star Live continues.
North Knox Siding and Windows is a complete exterior home improvement company that can help you with all your exterior needs. Visit us today at 5618 North Broadway.
When you shop at Elliott's, your journey is our purpose.
Leonardo da Vinci famously said, "Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been, and there you will always long to return." Well, the Smoky Mountain Air Show has returned, and it's time the Blue Angels take flight once again. The Smoky Mountain Air Show, Saturday, September 10th and Sunday, September 11th. Admission is free, and parking passes can be purchased at SmokyMountainAirShow.com.
If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up.
And welcome back to 5 Star Live. I am Mark Nagy here with Kevin Smith. Of course, it's Friday night, but we had a little bit of high school football on Thursday evening. Webb took on CAK in one of the battles of Dutchtown Road. And Kevin, Webb is really impressive so far, undefeated at 5-0, and that is one solid defensive football team.
You know, we got to give CAK a lot of credit from last night. We know it's a rivalry game, so sometimes, emotions can be high and everybody wants to do really well. I was kind of shocked by the game. I thought Webb would handle them a little bit more. CAK made it a game all the way up into the fourth quarter. So Webb has a chance, Mark, if they can really get that running game. It's getting there.
Yeah.
But if that offensive line continues to progress and get better, these guys have a real legitimate shot to be really, really difficult to stop offensively. They already are, but to have the running game and the passing game with the guys they have on the perimeter, they could be hard to stop.
I spoke with Coach Meskey after the game, and he was very complimentary, as you would imagine, for what his defense has been able to do. And the thing he said about them is maybe the difference with this defense as opposed to previous years is just how physical that they are up front, and especially that front seven.
And they've had a huge improvement in the defensive line, had a couple of guys actually transfer in to help with that. their linebackers were good last year, and they've only gotten better. And you know the athletes they have in the secondary. This is a very good defense that has shown out each and every game. What people don't realize in this region, Division II AA, Mark, you've got to finish first or second if you want to make a deep playoff run. You want to eliminate as long as possible to play CPA or Lipscomb Academy out of the Middle Tennessee. So every region game it's already important, but it's even extra important if you want to make a deep run. And Webb took care of business last night in a rivalry football game.
All right, so you talked a little bit about that running game. Of course, Charlie Robinson, he had a rushing TD from the quarterback position, went untouched on the left side, really looked good. Jalen Hill, who left the game due to injury, I know that's a bit of a concern, but he looked great. 80 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. If he's healthy, Robinson's healthy and playing well, that's a pretty potent offense.
Yeah, and everybody talks about Charlie Robinson. They should, and his weapons on the perimeter. But that's the guy. The running back is the key to me. He's the X factor. If he can continue to progress and continue to get better and that offensive line continues to gel, that makes them almost impossible to stop offensively.
All right, so Webb at 5-0. They get a week off now. Then they'll be back in action a couple weeks down the line. Let's look elsewhere in week number 5. Again, it's sad that we're already at week number 5. I just hate to see it. Big game coming up in Sevier County. West at 4-0, Sevier County at 4-0. If you like defenses, this is probably going to be the game for you. Last year, West won 20-19 in what was pretty much a defensive struggle. Are we going to see the same tonight?
Absolutely. This is my type of game right here, Mark. Being a former defense coordinator, I love this. And both teams are playing so well, Mark, and it's legit. They've played good competition. Both of them have. They've been challenged, and they have shown up each and every week. This is going to be smash-mouth football at its finest. And to me, whichever defense causes the most turnovers is going to have a shot tonight to win this football game.
Well, you take a look at West. They average 10 points per game. You think that's pretty good, which it is. Sevier County averages 8.5 points per game. Their big player is their linebacker, Garrett Hawkins. He's already got 59 tackles in 4 games. You do the math quick, it's basically 15 tackles per game. He's somebody that West is going to probably have to concern themselves with a little bit on offense.
You know, Mark, the best compliment you can get as a staff and as a program is what Sevier County got after beating Jeff County. When Coach Spencer Riley comes out and talks about how disciplined they were, how they were played in their gaps, they didn't get upfield, how hard they played. There's nothing better as a program to get that kind of praise from your opposing head coach after you shut down a very good running attack. This Sevier County team, this is an opportunity for them to make a statement in a region game and make an upset because this West team is supremely talented.
Braden Latham, of course, and that West run game can be really solid when they're clicking. So if Sevier County can limit them, then they have a really good chance to win at home.
Yeah, that West has got all kind of players at every level, defensively, offensively. This is a very tough matchup for Sevier County, but like I said, this could be that night. Put everybody on notice. We're here to stay. We're a contender in this region.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about Class 5A. Another big game, this one in Anderson County. Powell taking on Clinton. For Powell, they were banged up early. They kind of took their blows against Anderson County and Maryville those first couple games. Maybe they're getting a little bit healthier. Jordan Potts, of course, is that offense goes as he goes as the quarterback position. Looks like he's getting a little bit healthier. Are we getting closer maybe to seeing what that Powell team was a year ago?
I think we know Powell's offense, and they get all the accolades, and they should. I mean, Jordan Potts, again, worth the price of admission. Go watch him play football. I think the key for Powell is they got to continue to get better defensively. They really struggled the first couple of weeks. They're going to have a challenge tonight, Mark, against this Clinton offense. We know they can throw the football as well. I'm interested to see, can Clinton get the run game going? Can they pound Powell? I think Powell struggles against the run game, struggles in their run fits. Clinton's got to run the football tonight. Number one, to keep Powell's offense off the field. But number two, to just physically come at Powell and try to grind out a victory.
I think it's going to be an interesting matchup between linebacker Steven Souls, who's already got 6 sacks on the season for Powell, and of course Joshua Keith, who gets a lot of attention as Clinton's quarterback. Decent chance that he's going to be playing at the next level. He's getting a lot of attention. So I think that's going to be kind of an interesting matchup because I think that they're going to try to send Souls at the quarterback early and often.
Oh, yeah, and where Powell's got to be careful there is not running upfield and giving up lanes and staying out of their and make sure they stay in their rush lanes because he can scramble and get outside the pocket and step up. And he can also, if you run upfield and get out of your rush lanes, they can run the football. Clinton's got a really good offensive line that can push you around a little bit, and that to me is the key tonight. Clinton's got to be able to run the football, keep Powell off the field offensively.
It's another one of those big region games that's in Region 3 Class 5A.
Well, and Mark, too, sorry to interrupt. Clinton needs to win one of these games.
Yeah.
They came into Powell or into the Oak Ridge game. You could see the nerves early in that football game. I got to give them a lot of credit. They came out in the second half and really came back and made that a football game. They need one of these statement wins for their program. Everybody's talking about them. I heard about them all preseason, and rightfully so, but they need a statement win.
But how tough is that for a program that traditionally has not been one of the powerhouses in East Tennessee, trying to break into that glass ceiling? It can be tough. But once you get one of those wins, then maybe everything can follow from there.
No, you're absolutely right. It's hard. I mean, just take Oak Ridge. You hadn't won in 13 years. You're considered the little brother. It's hard to get over those humps. But that's why you want these regular season. Let's get one of those statement games if you're Clinton. Get one of those statement games in the regular season to give yourself the confidence in the playoffs, to get that monkey off your back. Know that I've got an opportunity to go deep in the playoffs.
All right, we got a little more high school football to talk about, but let's take a quick break. Back in just a couple of minutes. You're watching 5 Star Live.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. Guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors. And you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning. They are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit GoANG.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG. Leonardo da Vinci famously said, "Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been, and there you will always long to return." Well, the Smoky Mountain Air Show has returned, and it's time the Blue Angels take flight once again. The Smoky Mountain Air Show, Saturday, September 10th and Sunday, September 11th. Admission is free, and parking passes can be purchased at SmokyMountainAirShow.com.
If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what. Add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up.
And welcome back to 5 Star Live, brought to you by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. I'm Mark Nagy here with Kevin Smith. Let's talk about one of those sneaky good games on the schedule tonight. Campbell County at Carnes. It seems like this is always a competitive game. The last 3 years, it's been a very close game. Campbell County won in 2019. Carnes won in 2020 and 2021. And I think if you like points, you're going to probably like this one as well. And it's another one of those big region games, too. Campbell County at 1-0 in Region 3 5A. Carnes at 0-1. The last thing the Beavers want is to go down to 0-2. That gets a little more tough when you want to start and get into November football.
Yeah, and you want to host that home game. This is two different offenses here tonight, Mark. We got Campbell County who's going to throw the ball over the yard with a young quarterback, veteran receivers. Really like what the Price twins do there with the Campbell County program. They don't get enough credit for the job they've done there in a hard place to win. Carnes, obviously we know that Deshaun Bishop's going to get the ball. They do have some more weapons this year, though, Mark, that they're getting the ball out to the perimeter where it's not all focused on him. But we know he's the guy that makes the engine run. This is going to be a huge game, lots of points. Really, it's going to come down to who can not turn the ball over. That's really what it's going to be.
Deshaun Bishop, of course, the Coastal Carolina commitment, already has 840 rushing yards this year. He's really tough to stop. So Campbell County, if they have a chance to win this game, they've got to find a way to at least limit him.
Yeah, well, and people forget he's the returner too. Punt return, kick return. You got to find a way not to kick him the football, right? Because he can beat you there as well.
We had 286 yards rushing against the Cougars last year. For Campbell County, you mentioned their quarterback, young kid Landon Hensley, already with nearly 1,200 passing yards so far. If Campbell County's going to win, they're going to wing it all over the field, right?
Have to. I mean, they're not going to be able to. Carnes has enough up front, especially in their front seven. They've got some good players in there. This going to be hard to run the football. They're going to have to be able to throw the football, keep ahead of the chains, and do not throw interceptions or give them, pick sixes for Carnes, because Carnes is going to score offensively.
Look out for also Devon Jones. He's got 9 touchdowns receiving, one of Hensley's top targets. All right, in terms of Division II Class 3A, it's McCauley versus Knoxville Catholic. We talk about statement wins sometimes. If Catholic can pull an upset maybe at home, because remember, McCauley's won 3 in a row state title-wise.
Yeah, and Catholic needs this. I mean, they've got we've talked about this a couple weeks in a row now. Their schedule is so brutal. Just played Baylor 2 weeks ago. They got an off week, hopefully got healthy. My understanding is Trevor Duncan, UT commit, will be back tonight, which they will need him on a limited snap count basis. But this is a really talented McCauley team, Mark. It's going to be very difficult for Catholic to win this game tonight. And then we got Father Ryan, and then you got Lipscomb Academy. Yeah. This is a very tough stretch for them. They got to find a way to get better and try to sneak out one of these games.
There is no rest for the weary in Division II, Class 3A, certainly. All right, let's talk a little Class 6A football. Bearden against Maryville. Okay, we all know Maryville's not lost to a Knox County team or lost a region game since the year 2000. Just mathematically, it has to happen sometime. Bearden is improving. Have they improved enough tonight to make this a game?
Well, we're going to get to our pick 7 here in a little bit, so we won't get that far and give our picks here now. But I think, first of all, that's an unbelievable stat, and the consistency with which the program, the staff, the players, the community have had is so impressive. It's mind-boggling. But this is a Maryville offense that's got to get back after last week, after losing to Alcoa. Offensive line is big and physical. Noah Vaughn, everybody knows about him, but he is so good. He's, again, another player worth the price of admission, catching the ball out of that backfield. People don't realize he's one of their top receivers this year, Mark. God does it all. They got to get back to that physical run game, being physical up front, and Bearden's going to have to do a good job holding up.
And Bearden's going to have to get a nice work from Drew Parrott, their quarterback, 785 passing yards and 9 passing touchdowns. Josh Jones, the head coach for Bearden, Jesse Smith, he caught up with him recently. Let's go to that interview.
Taking over program at Bearden, what's that been like for you being a head coach finally?
It's been like drinking water out of a fire hose. State championship on a Friday night back in December. Saturday morning, 9 a.m., interviewing for the Bearden head coaching job. Got the job a few days later, and life has not slowed down since I've taken that. But it's been great, man. The Coach Sinlever left his program in great shape. The foundation was set. Miss Sayers, our principal, has been awesome. Our athletic director, Mr. Balkin's been awesome. The transition's been really, really smooth because of all them three.
What's been the most difficult thing you found to be the case so far? I know Friday nights haven't happened yet, but what's something that was like, okay, maybe I didn't expect this?
Just at 2 o'clock, your day could be going great. You think, okay, well, I got this and this to do this afternoon, and that's all I've got. And then 2 emails and 3 text messages later, now your day's rocking and rolling. Just probably the never know from minute to minute what you're a phone call, email, text message away from your day being really busy.
What about building chemistry on your staff? There are guys that have great backgrounds, but getting them all to have a good chemistry with the coaches. I mean, what's that been like?
A staff is like a team. In football being a cohesion sport, your staff has to have cohesion. That's very, very important. We've got, an excellent staff from a lot of different places. There's been a lot of places, and there's more than one way to do it in football. We all know that. So we've spent a lot of time in meetings and more meetings, getting on the same page and agreeing that, hey, this is how we're going to coach this technique, even though there's more than one way to do it. and just getting on the same page. And it's taking a lot of meat, but they've been great, man. Staff is hungry. We're all learning from each other. You know, every time I feel like we meet, it's like a college clinic breaks out, and it's been really good for us.
Who's been a player or two that you inherited that you're really excited about?
I'm excited about the two kids I brought. You know, Sam Nico, linebacker. He's as blue collar as it gets, returning starter. He's a leader on the field and off the field. He's not missed a day of anything we've done. We've worked out 4 days a week in the off season. We've been in the summer. We've had all of our spring ball. He's not missed anything. He is there every single day, works hard, ready to work. Don't have to do motivating speeches or anything. Then offensively, offensive line, Brendan Relaford. You know, all starts up front. He's a returning starter. He was probably our best lineman come out of spring. He has worked really hard. He's really physical. You know, got a chance to play some college football, I think, next year. He's a good. He was deserving to get to come here. And you know, we've got too many to list, but man, we've got some players. You know, I'm excited about the season.
Let's start with Drew Parrott. He was a young quarterback last year, kind of thrust into that situation. And how has he grown and learned more about the position and kind of branched out?
You know, Drew being a coach's kid, it helps him so much because he gets it. Nobody's going to be harder on Drew Parrott than Drew Parrott. He wants to be the best he can possibly be. He's in there. People know I'm very, very demanding of the time with my quarterbacks. We meet all the time to make sure that we're on the same page. And he loves it. He's in there asking questions, taking notes every time. And he wants to be as good as he can possibly be. And I'm really excited about him. Now, there's going to be some transitions from growing pains a little bit, possibly, but he's working through that, and I'm excited about his future.
One of his top guys was Sam Tummins, a guy that can make people miss, can make big plays happen. Yep. What have you seen out of him in your short time?
Yeah, Sam's a baller, man. Sam's blue collar. He's a football player. You know, he's just tough-nosed, will do everything you ask. He don't care to go across the middle. He ain't worried about getting bumped or pressed or anything. He's just going to go make plays. And we got a lot of weapons around Drew, and that's going to help Drew a lot. Our receiving core is really deep. We feel we're about 6 or 7 deep on the receiving core that can really play.
Anybody that we might say, okay, I'm not familiar with this guy. Somebody that's been a late bloomer or somebody that we're all going to get familiar with this fall?
I'd say for us offensive receiver-wise, I would say probably an Ethan Ford. He was a two-way starter last year at Beard, soccer kid. That wasn't used a whole lot on offense, even though he was a starter in terms of stats or anything. But he's working really hard. He can run. You know, he was on the state runner-up soccer team. He's a really good soccer player and stuff. So we didn't get him in spring ball or anything. He's been a big surprise this summer. So he's going to really help us. And then we've got an incoming freshman named Torrey Beaufort. And he's just baller. You know, you just get him the ball and let him do the rest, man. He knows what to do when he gets it in his hands. And then, you know, back into the backfield, you know, we're pretty deep there. We're different. We've got Tyler Ironsides transferred in from McCauley. He's going to really help us. He's a real physical downhill runner. Pre-Sean Brown's going to be – he's kind of a blend. You know, he can run. He can catch. You can do a lot with him. And then incoming freshman that's going to be really electric is Jason Thompson. You know, he's special with the football. Yeah. Torrey is so versatile, you know. So we don't overwhelm his mind right now. We don't want to let the mind tie up the feet, as they say. We're letting him play slot receiver, but he's a guy kind of like, you know, the Saints using Kamara and LSU using that Edwards-Helaire and all that. You can move him around. You can put him in the backfield, motion him out. You can line him up an outside receiver, inside receiver. He's just a football player. I mean, you put him wherever on the field, he's going to succeed. Yeah, so Jason, same situation as Torrey. We're going to start him at running back, but he's another guy. You can put him out wide. You can put him in the slot. And as time goes, those guys really learn our schemes and adapt. You'll see us move them around a lot of different places and get them the football every way we can hand it. Hand it to them, throw it to them, whatever we got to do to get it to them.
Last thing, just how much are you looking forward to that first Friday night as a head coach, and just the butterflies, just everything that'll come with it?
I'm so excited. We play West, and that's West is really good. Coach Brown's got one of the premier programs in the entire East Tennessee. But I'm so excited. Our staff is so excited. Our kids are so excited. We can't wait. And we know it's going to be a really, really tough game, tough challenge. But, you know, hopefully we'll be up for it.
Well, it's going to be a big night of high school football at East Tennessee, and the question is, who's going off? So now it's time for our Waffle House last-minute picks. We didn't get one from Jesse on Bearden versus Maryville. Any chance Bearden pulls the upset?
No, I don't. Their defense is playing really well. Let's give them credit. Their young offensive players are coming along. This Maryville offense is too good. They're coming off a loss. They're going to be extra hungry tonight. No chance. I like Maryville by multiple touchdowns.
Yeah, Bearden is getting better as a program. They're not at that level yet. Not many teams in the state are at Maryville's level.
Well, if you're not named Oakland or Alcoa, I'm not picking against Maryville.
Yeah, pretty safe bet for decades, it seems. Okay, Campbell County at Carnes, two high-flying offenses. Campbell County through the air, Carnes on the ground. Can Campbell County limit Deshaun Bishop at all? Jesse Smithy, his pick, the home team, the Carnes Beavers. Kevin Smith, who do you pick in this game?
I like Carnes. I love what Campbell County's doing. I like their offense. I think they're going to score some points tonight, but Deshaun Bishop in this offense is too much. Too many other weapons besides him. And Carnes defense will make enough stops tonight to win this football game.
I think it'll be another close game like we've seen the last 3 years. I also like the Carnes Beavers to win in a close game. Okay, West at Sevier County. Talk about those statement wins. This could be a statement win for Sevier County if they can knock off the Rebels tonight.
I've thought long and hard about this one because Sevier County is what they've done this year has been really impressive. Just hard for me to pick against this West football team who over the last couple of years now has been one of the best teams in the Knoxville area. I think again they get it done again tonight. Actually, I think they get it done by a touchdown tonight. It's not as close. Both defenses will play well.
Yeah, I will also go with Sevier County, Jesse Smithy, or I also go with West. Jesse Smithy also takes the West Rebels. All right, Powell at Clinton. Powell struggled early. Looks like they're kind of getting their footing, getting back to being that state championship type of contender. For Clinton, it's a chance for them to really open up some highs if they can get a win over the defending state champions. Who you got in this game?
Yeah, I picked Clinton against Oak Ridge. I thought in the second half it was going to come to fruition. I'm going to go with them again. I just think this program's on the rise. I think they got the players to get it done. If they can run the football tonight and take advantage of Powell's defense, I think Clinton's going to win this football game in a very tight one.
Jesse Smithy also, he takes Powell. I'm going to also take Powell. I just can't imagine that Matt Lowe's team is going to be 2-3 at this point. I just can't picture that just yet. All right, final game we're going to talk about is the reason we're here in North Knoxville. Gibbs at Fulton. Fulton really needs a win. Gibbs a chance to go to 4-1. That hasn't happened very often in the Eagles program history. Who do you have in this game?
Listen, to me it rests on the availability of running back Brock Bonewell. If he is healthy, I like Gibbs in this football game, in a very high-scoring football game. If he's not, it's going to be a lot closer. Gibbs is going to have a really hard time tackling Marcellus Jackson at quarterback. But I just think this Gibbs football team has something about them this year. Road warriors. Yep. I think they're going to squeak out a tough, high-scoring victory tonight.
Just imagine when they actually do play a home game coming up next year. That's going to be something. Jesse Smithy, he takes the Fulton Falcons. I think there is something special about this Gibbs team. They're walking behind us right now. That's not why I'm making the pick. I like the Gibbs Eagles to improve to 4-1. All right, folks, thank you very much for joining us. This Fulton Gibbs game is going to get underway in about 5.5 minutes. I want to thank our friends at East Tennessee Spine and Sport for being the sponsors tonight. For Kevin Smith, I'm Mark Nagy. Thank you very much for watching 5 Star Live.
You're watching 5 Star Live, presented by East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Tennessee's #1 high school football show. Live on location from the biggest game of the week. Live interviews from coaches and players, along with highlights, predictions, and up-to-date information about this week's biggest games. Your hosts, Jesse Smithy and Kevin Smith, with decades of experience covering and coaching high school sports, along with a 5-star preps team, will break down region outlooks and what's to come for your favorite prep football teams and top players. Now, get ready for the most comprehensive high school football coverage in Tennessee on 5 Star Live.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
East Tennessee, the foothills of the Smokies, beautiful lakes, Friday night heroes, and one red light small towns with more life than any big city, where orange and white is displayed. Yeah, the one and only home of the Tennessee Vols, but also the home of the 134th Air Refueling Wing Volunteers. You might catch us in the beautiful skies of East Tennessee, flying the time-tested, irreplaceable, world-traveling, aerial refueling KC-135. Yeah, you heard that right. We refuel other aircraft while traveling the world at over 30,000 feet and 500 miles an hour. The amazing thing is, that's really not the 134th Air Refueling Wing's greatest strength. Our greatest strength is our airmen, our warriors, who have answered our nation's call. guardians of freedom and justice, not only in our beautiful hills, but worldwide. They are our sentries and avengers, defending our country with their lives. They are the best of us, wingmen, leaders, and warriors, and you best believe they will never falter or fail. Flying, fighting, and winning, they are American Airmen and Tennessee Air National Guardsmen. So what are you waiting for? It's time to join the hometown team. Visit goang.com or call 1-800-TO-GO-ANG. Leonardo da Vinci famously said, "Once you have tasted flight, you will forever walk the earth with your eyes turned skyward. For there you have been, and there you will always long to return." Well, the Smoky Mountain Air Show has returned, and it's time the Blue Angels take flight once again. The Smoky Mountain Air Show, Saturday, September 10th and Sunday, September 11th. Admission is free, and parking passes can be purchased at SmokyMountainAirShow.com.
If I do it once, I do it again. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up, I'm just doing me, everything is on me, oh you matter what, add it up, told her if it's all me, everything is on me, gon' back it up.